Hello everyone. I have brought forth a story I named Bonds Thicker Than Blood from a series I hold dear. And though this is my fourth work, this is my first work to make it to YouTube as an audiobook. What you are going to listen to is the musicless version where only my voice will be reading along with subtitles. To those who are reading along with the subtitles, the four main characters will be color-coded when speaking. Their name and color will appear at the start of each chapter. If you wish to listen along with the music in the background for a more unique experience, there will be a link in the description for a music version. And if you would rather read it at your own pace, you can read the entirety of Bonds Thicker Than Blood at Javier the Great at AO3. Link will also be in the description. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy. Chapter 12. Fadir marches into the fairy village with Aziza closely behind him, though Aziza is peering her head, carefully eyeing her surroundings. Fadir keeps his mind and path focused on the biggest tree in the center of the village. The fairies who reside in the land clear out of his path, some hiding behind their homes. Their faces grow white as he closes into the center, yet they remain still and silent to avoid his wrath. Finally, they arrive at the wooden stairway leading up to the front of the tree's entrance, with magical orbs of light contained in clear glass at each side of the large doorway. This tree, other than its material, is no different than any other castle they have came across before. They step through as no guard defends the doorway, and at the end could be none other than the queen. She sits atop a throne of the tree's wood. She is larger than the other residents, as her red sparkling dress is as big as the guard next to her. She uncrosses her matching shoes, setting them to the ground, and leans in. The smooth white skin on her face wrinkles, and she pushes her long green hair to the side. Her attitude is sour compared to her sweet honey scent. What a surprise to see a priest in my land! A guard in wooden armor next to her forms a shining spear out of thin air and stomps over to him. I have unfortunate news about Aniseed. The guard stops at Fadir's words, and the queen rebuttals. You evil humans lie! Then maybe her words will suffice. He reveals the bronze box from his coat, dropping it to the floor. The queen and the guard freeze in place to the heavy sound of the chest. The guard slows his movement as he gets close, wary of what it contains. He lifts it and a gasp leaves his lips. The Dreamstone's container! But it's empty! The queen looks ready to lunge from her seat, but the guard blurts, It can't be! What is it? The angry queen ordered. Her hands twitch as she grips the arms of her throne with immense strength. Aniseed's writing's on the box. She exhales her frustration each time he continues to stammer over his words. Just bring it to me. He runs over and kneels to the floor before handing the box, presenting it with both hands like an ancient relic. With one hand, which easily fits in her giant palm, she takes it, scanning its corners with the twist of her wrist. Once she reaches the back, she leans closer, grabbing it with both hands, holding it still with the tips of her fingers. The more her eyes scroll, the lighter her skin becomes. That can't be true! She drops the box, her eyes filled with tears. Her hands shake as she holds her head. It is wrong of me, as a man of the goddess, to ignore the cries of a grieving mother, Fadir thought. Yet he could not sympathize with her. But I cannot overlook the negligence of her own people and kin. The people of the neighboring town have suffered as well. I know the truth, Fadir said, stepping towards the grieving queen. Aniseed found love with a human in the town next door, and your warped perception denied her that. With the feeling she bore, the person who was supposed to be a guiding light in a world of uncertainty abandoned her. She rebelled in response, and was driven to believe she would be forever outcasted. You must know the goddess's teachings, considering the allegiance you have formed with her. Not only because of her actions have you gone against the oath of family, you made an entire town suffer, and she carried that burden. You watch your mouth, the guard shouted, pointing his spear at Fidir, inches away from his throat. However, he did not flinch, nor stand down. He knew he was right, and if he were to fall, the goddess would welcome him with open arms. Enough, the queen yells towards the furious guard. Bring to me the wakey dust. He takes a deep breath, leaving immediately towards a back room, having them wait in an awkward silence. As Fidir glares at the saddened queen, Aziza, with a similar look, glances over to Fidir. He is usually soft-spoken, kind, and understanding, yet something in him called for justice, a voice with authority. Perhaps the goddess wanted to punish her for her sins as well. The guard returns with a similar box to the last and hands it to Fidir. The queen's tone has shifted as her words are slow to a crawl. That box contains the wakey dust. Open it in town and my curse will be lifted. It's what Aniseed would have wanted. Fidir takes the dreamstone from his coat and tosses it to the ground. I only pray now that Aniseed is up with the goddess, someone who will cherish her. He walks out, and Aziza follows closely. The path through the forest back to Nordvik is silent and uneventful. Fidir ponders what will happen once they wake up. Will the truth of the curse be revealed? Will the hidden village of the fairies be exposed to the world? Both deserve peace. Are you okay? She softly asked. I will be fine. It's the people of Nordvik that I worry for. They arrive. The town still remains in its permanent slumber. The man from before is nowhere in sight, and before they can question his location, Fidir opens the bronze box. It cracks open, and from a seal, a yellow sweet powder scatters across town. It blows in the gentle wind, flying high into the afternoon sky, each speck of dust floating like a firefly. One after another, loud yawns emerge from the sleeping citizens. They arise as if hibernation season is over. Most are confused by the predicament they find themselves in, while the children resume playing amongst themselves. Fidir takes a moment to smile at the people returning back to their normal selves before turning around. Shouldn't we explain what happened? Aziza questioned. I fear it would do more harm than good. Once they learn of the fairies, I worry for their safety, and it's not fair to let them live in fear because of their leader's mistake. As he leaves, Aziza looks to the people of Nordvik, returning back to their daily lives. Their smiles as they talk are infectious as she looks at them with glee. She catches up to Fidir, trailing through the hillside. You did a fine job. Unfortunately, it's not much of a happy ending. I wish we could have done more. I understand how you feel, but we can't save everyone. I know. I don't think I would have had the strength to stand up to a queen without those losses. You're talking about your parents? Yes. Aniseed reminds me a lot of my own past. But you never knew your parents. Do you really believe they abandoned you like Aniseed? Then what else can it be? I believe a parent has no excuse for leaving their child, and I found comfort that the goddess agrees, even if it meant saving the world. Her face sorrows. Fidir looks at her, hesitant of his next words. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. It's fine. I know in my heart they did it to protect me, and even if it wanes on me, without that, I wouldn't have met all of you. You're strong, stronger than I could ever be. You needn't be so quick on such thoughts. You stood up to royalty knowing the consequences for your beliefs. Most people in that position would have ended with one side in blood. Whether through the teachings or personal growth, you have become a person strong enough to forge a path ahead. Thank you for the words. He chuckled. I guess that is the resolution we needed before setting out from our little home. Seems so. Couldn't imagine us getting off the island a couple of years ago. He laughs. If you told me we had to reach the top of a tower, I would have gladly stayed. She snickers. You probably still wouldn't have unless we pushed you. More like carried, he whispered. They cross over the upcoming southern hill, and Aziza draws her dagger from her waist with rapid speed, startling Fidir from his thoughts. Isn't that Hotaru and Isamu? Fidir looks down at Corv's entrance to find a woman carrying them in each arm. They run down the hill, and Fidir shouts, pulling out his staff, Hotaru! The slender woman in a red kimono turns to face them. Her face, while aged, is stoic. She has her long gray hair in a ponytail. Her outfit is flowing yet lightweight and has gold accents with red martial artist shoes to match it. In her toned arms, Hotaru and Isamu are covered in cuts and bruises. They are unresponsive as Fidir calls out their name. They look into her hazel eyes, fearful of her strength. Fidir holds steadfast, keeping his staff as a barrier between them. He asks, Who are you?